We're bringing you the world of Aethenwald called Shifting Echoes. My name is Gonah, and I'm going to be co-DMing this.
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
know
It's the first episode.
We're very used to specific things.
Yes.
I'm Gonah, and I'm going to be co-DMing this with
Teral, and I'm going to be co-DMing this with
Gonah. We'll just go through that.
We'll go
forever.
back and forth.
So I would like to introduce you to these lovely people over here, and each of them, if you would please just say who you are and your character name. Let's start off with Psalm.
Okay, my name is Lexi, and I will be playing Psalm.
On over to Jerri.
Hi, I'm Lady Dame, and I will be playing Jerri.
Perfect. Sylphine.
I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny, and I will be playing Sylphine.
Perfect. Caitlin.
Hello, I'm Caitlin, and I'll be playing Kestrel.
And Iden.
Hi, I'm Wren. And, well, if you couldn't guess, I'll be playing Iden today.
Perfect. Wonderful. So we're going to start off, and all of you have been told to meet in a very specific place. Some of you for one reason, some of you for another. I believe probably, just judging by personality and what's going on, the first two people who are going to get there would probably be Jerri and Didn't Give It. So, Jerri and Didn't Give It. As you enter this mansion, what do you do? What do you see? What have you done?
So at this point, Jerri is all business. As much business as Jerri can be, but she keeps looking over at Didn't Give It. Looking over, like, sort of trying to get a read on them, trying to figure out, like, what exactly, like, she knows that Didn't Give It is here to, why, she knows at this point why Didn't Give It is here, and and she knows why she's here, but is trying to get like a read on them, trying to see how capable they are in this situation. As she's like sort of warming herself up, doing some stretches and that kind of thing, and starting right off the bat. Well,
GMs, I have a question.
Yes.
How long have I been with Jerri? And
So, you and Jerri have been traveling and hauling this box by cart. It's been about 8 days now.
it's been 8 days.
Yes.
You have not been together the entire
Right.
time.
Yes.
So probably you have been together for a couple of hours at this
Right.
point, because each of
Okay.
you came in separately,
Yes.
but you had met each other about a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
8 days ago.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
okay. I look at Jerri, give an awkward smile. I really wish you wouldn't look at me like that.
Look at you like what? I'm not looking at you like anything.
No, see, you're doing it right now. You're looking at me kind of funny.
Are
Do-
you scared?
Do no, no, I'm not scared. I'm more unnerved than anything else. Do you think are we in front of this mansion, GMs?
You can be wherever you like. You pretty much have free reign of the mansion since you're the first ones to get here.
So if you want to prep anything, if you want to just go in there and sit, you can do that.
It's on the outskirts of town, so you don't actually catch a lot of attention. It's kind of out of the way, off the beaten path.
I just don't know what we're supposed to be doing here. Do you have any idea, Jerri?
Jerri
You're
thinks for a
muted.
minute.
Oh, okay. There you go.
No, yeah,
That was
that was
rude. just
just me thinking as I try to look back over my notes from session 5. Don't worry about it. Jerri sort of like contemplates that for a little bit. And sort of like cocks her head a little bit. I'm not the one in charge here. Just do what they tell you to do.
Right. Okay then. Well, I'm gonna go find a place to take a nap. That sounds good, right? Place to take a nap. If you need me, don't call for me. And I'm gonna start looking like around the mansion. I'm just gonna leave abruptly and start looking for a dusty old bedroom or something in this mansion.
If you need me,
course.
don't call for me.
And I'll raise a hand as I'm walking away from Jerri. You got it.
Jerri sort of watches them as they go, and she's gonna like start looking around the mansion at this point and sort of getting the lay of the land, figuring out where like the dark corners are, like where the good hiding places are, and also like where try and find anything that might be a problem later. Just sort of get her, just get the lay of the land.
Okay.
Also see if she can find anything shiny or interesting in here.
Do you would you kindly give us an investigation check to see,
Sure.
as you search the mansion, see how well you do in finding everything you might need, everything you might want?
Ooh. Alrighty. Investigation. That would be oh no. I can't read apparently. That's a 3.
As you're looking around, I mean, there's definitely debris, and this mansion has a lot of mostly old furniture. It doesn't look like a lot of objects. Every once in a while, like you'll sift through some dust and oh, shine! It's broken glass. That's
Sure.
probably not safe.
Yes, this definitely seems like a place where the local teenagers come to hang out, away from the prying eyes of their parents.
And as for Eden, you're very easily able to find. There are several rooms with either bed frames that have no mattresses or mattresses that have no bed frames. It looks like there were just a bunch of things that were left here. You are able to find somewhere that reasonably minimal tetanus could be had by laying there.
Well, don't need a bed frame if you have the mattress, so I will plop down on a mattress and just take my cloak and just fling it up over my shoulders and lay back and hope that Jerri doesn't disturb me.
Make a con save.
Okay. It's a 21?
Okay. Like as you put the cloak down, just a huge cloud of dust comes up. You thought ahead and you like closed the mouth, like closed off the nose. Nothing entered. You're fine. You're gonna be able to nap. Just kind of maybe your allergies feel like they might inflame soon. But that time passes,
I
and
will say, if I may, if Jerri finds like broken glass and stuff on the floor, she might pocket a couple pieces. It's still shiny.
it's
Oh,
still
that's
shiny.
absolutely true. Yeah, you find a couple of broken green bottles,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
those
Oh,
are
green
probably your
glass, my
favorite
favorite.
ones.
She likes the green glass.
That
Okay,
being
perfect.
said,
I believe Sylphine comes next.
yes, Sylphine is going to be the next person to arrive at this abandoned mansion. Per your instructions.
Yes. It's a fairly short train ride, but I probably got some reading in on the way. Um, Getting off the train, few quick words in Sylvan from her. That sounds almost like birdsong. An emotion of her hand and faint, almost gold glitter spreads across her skin as she casts mage armor. She's not sure what is waiting for her here. Let me mark that off. And then sending my falcon up above to keep an eye out. I will slowly approach the mansion. Just being observant, trying to make sure. I don't trust the change in location that happened just a few days ago, so I'm a bit on edge.
That's quite understandable. It's about an hour trot from the train station to the mansion. It kind of dumps you off in the middle of the small town. And so walking all the way to the edge of town and getting your bearings, getting the information to find the mansion, it takes a little bit. But sure enough, you eventually find it. And as you approach, you see it is this worn, rickety old beat-down Victorian-esque mansion that's probably 2 centuries old at this point, and it looks like it hasn't been cared for in about a century. Just from your quick observations on the outside, shutters are falling off, and your hawk can see there is, as it's flying over, it does report that there are some places in the roof where there's holes, noticeably collapsed into the attic.
Okay. Do I see anybody around outside?
No, you do not see anyone outside right now.
Okay. I'll just lean against a tree and channel my senses into my falcon and just kind of glance in windows as she circles around the mansion, just to try and see if I see anybody, get an idea of what it looks like.
Certainly. Give us a perception check. And does your bird have dark vision at all?
I don't think falcons do. I actually don't think they have. They do have an entry. No, they have keen sight, but they do not have dark vision.
Okay. Well, with the keen sight, then just go ahead and roll a regular perception check.
You have rolled to start off. 22 total.
22 total. Let's see here. Jerri, are you hiding at all while you're waiting for company?
I wouldn't be like super close to the windows or anything like that, but I wouldn't be we're expecting people. I mean, we're expecting to meet somebody here, isn't that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So I don't think I would be necessarily uh, I don't think I would be like trying to hide too terribly much at
Okay.
this point.
So let's see here. As your bird flies around the building, they do catch a glimpse of someone on the first floor. Looks like the falcon comes back to you and describes it as can you speak with your familiar at all?
Well,
Or is that
I
just
was
you see through
looking-
their senses?
Yeah, I was looking through her eyes, so I would have seen whatever
Okay.
she saw.
You see a hooded. Is it a hooded figure? No.
Not at this moment.
Go ahead and describe your character to
So
Sylphine,
so
please.
sure. What you end up seeing is sort of a dark feathered. She's a kanku, and looks much like other kanku you may or may not have seen. She's of a medium average kind of height. She's constantly a little stooped forward. You would probably see her. She's wearing like a little striped black and white t-shirt that might be a little grungy, with some black overalls or some like, sort of dark overalls with wide legs. And she's got a scarf. It's like a really big scarf that's sort of a dark teal in color. That's down at the moment. She's rifling through things, sort of like looking under cushions and like opening up drawers and that kind of thing. And I don't know if she would necessarily see the bird. She's probably listening out for noise, and that's when she would be hiding. And since she isn't hearing anything, that's probably why she's still pretty visible at this point. But she's got an inquisitive look about her. Every once in a while, she like bobs her head to the side and like sort of tries to use her beak to get under things. And
Mhm.
it's very
Wonderful. So yeah, Sylphine, with this knowledge, anything further or
I think I will tell my familiar to perch on the edge of the roof. Just keep an eye out and alert me if anything is coming, and then I will slowly make my way in.
All right.
as you go up, the front door is slightly open. Like it's not just full on open to the elements, but there's enough that you can peeky through. And as you go in, everything is very much in a state of disrepair. And if you look down, you can see that there's a pretty clear path that has been walked simply because, like, there is less dust. It's not that there's no dust, but there's less. There is noticeably less where people have walked, cloaks have dragged the floor, etc.
Okay. Well, I know I'm supposed to meet someone here, so I will go to where I saw this very interesting individual. I don't know if I saw any Kenku in Brannock. I mean, it's a big city. I'm guessing I may have.
Yes. You probably seen at least half a dozen different Kenku while walking around the city.
Okay.
Not the most common occurrence, but they are out and about and not shy from public.
Okay. Yeah, I will carefully make my way there.
Of course. Are you sneaking in, or are you just walking in, but like keeping your eyes peeled for everything?
Keeping my eyes peeled, but walking in with purpose. I'm supposed to be here. This is a meeting that I'm expecting, so
Fantastic. So
So because you are walking with purpose, Jerry, you do hear footsteps, distinct, probably travel booted, etc., walking towards you.
the creak of the floorboards and the crunch of broken glass every now and then definitely catches your attention.
Sure. Did we get a description of who we were supposed to meet here?
I don't believe you did. You just know you were supposed to meet someone here.
All right. Jerry's gonna sort of perk up and stand up straight and stop digging through stuff for a moment. Hello. How can I help you?
I am supposed to meet someone sent by Jenner. Would that be you?
That is yes. One moment, please. I shall be right back. And Jerry sort of gives a little wave and then goes to try and find Didn't Give It.
You're able to pretty easily follow the trail of, again, less dust.
Yeah,
That's going upstairs.
There's a couple doors with open, and the final one at the end of the hallway there, you see Iden just scrunched up, covered in their cloak, sleeping on a mattress.
I am going to give Iden a kick because that's how I'm used to getting up these days. Didn't give it.
I will roll over immediately after being kicked. And I will draw my dagger. Reflexively,
Sure.
and I'll level it and say, "Hey, what do you think you? Can a guy nap around here? I told you not to bother me, Jerry. And for the last time, my name's Iden."
My name's Iden. No, none of that now. The mark's here.
The mark? Oh, I'll push up off the mattress and get on my feet and stow the dagger back in the scabbard. What's your take on them?
My take? Easy mark, that one.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
Just a recording device. You are. I am.
Cradle my forehead in my hand. Right. I forgot. Yeah. People were telling me that. All right. And
DMs, do we have?
So, as a quick recap, Jenner had told Iden that it was entirely possible that he could get a specific item, but that unfortunately it has already been sold.
Right.
And Jerry, you do know that this is part of the plan. Whether you want to go along with it or not is completely up to you. You just know that Iden might need your help and might not need your help, and that Jenner really, really wants for both of these people to pay up what is going to what was promised.
Right. I guess my question is now, I'm just here to get the money. Is that correct?
Yep.
Correct. You're here to make the delivery and get the money.
So
And,
I've
and
got
as a recording device.
And as a
Right, so-
recording.
I've got the thing.
Mhm.
Okay. That was what I knew. I couldn't
Yes,
remember if I had
you
it or
are
not.
hauling it in a large
Perfect.
box.
Right. Okay, great. Perfect.
And then Eden, just a quick recap for you. You are specifically looking to fill out the shopping list for your sister.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
However you see fit.
However you see fit.
And it's in the cart. So, all right.
Yeah.
As I get up and start walking, Jerri, you will see Eden walking a little ways down the hall, and I'm like 3 feet tall. And as I'm walking, I just start to kind of shrink, and I'm going to use my wild shape to turn into a mouse, and I'm basically gonna skitter out towards the front door. And basically, I want to climb my way into the cart for after the exchange is done.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so here's my question. Sylphine, what are you doing while Jerri and Eden are having this, like, tete-a-tete?
What room was I left in? Like, what do I see around me? What-
You were left in the side foyer, basically a guest receiving room.
Okay. Windows and doors.
There are like 6 windows, 2 on each outer wall, and then just 1 door in.
Okay. Are the windows intact, or are they like busted out since this is an abandoned place?
Hit or miss. Like, there's probably 1 intact window. The rest are bits.
Okay. After waiting for a few moments, getting a little more nervous since it seems like there's more people here than I expected, I'm going to take up leaning against one of the walls just inside of one of the broken windows, with the intent that if I need to make an exit, that will be it.
Okay.
I'm just waiting. I'm checking my sword, make sure it's unclipped and that.
As you're preparing for the worst, Jerri,
Mhm.
you saw Eden disappear and run away,
Sure.
scurry somewhere.
Jerri will say out loud,
Well, I guess that's one way to do it.
and then head back downstairs to go to meet Sylphine. I'm so sorry for the wait. I hope it wasn't long. Have you got the money then?
Jenna and I have already discussed payment. There was no money to exchange.
That is correct. This transaction does not have money involved.
Fantastic.
Eden's had money involved.
I'm simply here to pick up the item.
It is at this
Totally.
time that Kestrel and Psalm, you roll up to this very old mansion. Kestrel, you have, of course, seen it before in a couple of increasingly frightful dreams. And Kestrel, at least you know this is the right place. Psalm, you're starting to question it a little bit. But you roll up on this decrepit mansion.
The fourth time we played at that tavern, Fedor forgot his guitar. And so we had to do the whole thing with no guitar. And then the fifth
Kestrel.
time,
Kestrel,
uh-huh.
this mansion that we're in front of, I love listening to your stories. You know, this is the 16th concert we've talked about. I'm just wondering what we're doing here again.
Oh, so remember when I told you about those dreams that I had?
Right.
Yeah. They were about here. This place.
Right.
And I don't remember why we decided that meant we needed to come here. DMs.
You, well, you heard the group apologizing, the three of them. You think it might have something to do with your missing bandmates at this mansion.
In your dreams, there were 3 figures standing around a box, and they were all whispering to you.
Oh, right. So this is the mansion from those dreams that I told you about. And we, I thought maybe since we're looking for people, maybe they're here.
The people that we might find here, are they the people we're supposed to beat up because, they left you the way they did?
Well, I mean, you keep saying that. I'm not opposed to it, but maybe we should maybe it was an accident. And so we should talk to them first. And then if not, then yes.
Quick question. How many people were in your band?
Well, 4 plus 3 plus me, so 4.
Okay.
Mhm.
As an older
one of them's really big though. Like Fedor's probably like your size at least.
Oh,
So
I thought Thedor, you kept describing Thedor and leaving all of his instruments everywhere. I thought he was smaller.
oh no,
But-
he's a half orc.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right, reevaluating. Just saying, as an older sister to many siblings, if you and 4 other people or 3 other people leave someone somewhere, it's usually not a mistake.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, it was also kind of right after I told them about my whole, little problem. So I feel like that's why. But it could be we've been traveling together for years. So I feel like maybe it was an accident or something. And we should at least talk to them first and, give them a chance to apologize.
we will talk to them then. And I will stand behind you and I will wait to see if they apologize. And if they don't, well, we'll see what happens after that.
I like you.
Thank you. I think Salma's going to do a quick scan around and just see what she sees.
So as you scan the mansion, much like before, it is run down, in disrepair. You see a falcon just perched on top of the building, sitting there, looking around. And other than that, it looks like the front door is partially ajar from this angle.
Kestrel, do you see that bird up there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see how the door's open? Do you think birds can open doors?
Oh. Probably not. I mean, if it was a very smart bird, maybe, but they don't have thumbs. So
I'll yell up to the bird and just be like, who's your owner? Are you a smart bird? And just wait to see. I don't know. I assume that Psalm has seen people traveling with trained animals before. And so she's going to assume that it probably has an owner. if it's not wild.
That's fair. And I don't know if Sylphine, does your bird wear anything?
Here's the thing. You're right outside the front door. So if you yell at Sylphine, you hear someone yell out the front.
And whatever the signal was for your bird to let you know someone was coming, Lintia gives it to you right now. Like,
Yeah, probably a screech. Yeah.
Caw-caw, tookie-tookie.
What the fuck was that?
Seems somebody else is here. Do you have more friends around?
I don't think
Fedor?
so.
Luca? Elia?
Who is that?
I'm just gonna mute us because I'm gonna start
Not
laughing.
No
responding.
idea. Can we get the exchange over with?
Iden, you notice, by the way, that there's more people coming into this mansion now.
No problem for a mouse. I'm just scurrying up into the cart.
Okay. I
Just wanted to make sure that, like, you also saw this.
Oh, and I'm sure I hear it too.
You're just sitting there,
You're a
just
smart bird.
tiny mouse.
Can I do an insight check on Sylphine? What's the sort of impression I get from her?
So we don't really do the insights against the players or.
Sure. Okay,
So what impression do you get from Sylphine? Or Sylphine, do you want to say how your demeanor is?
Yeah, are you trying to put off any particular, like, strong and tough, small and demure? What is Sylphine serving us today?
She's definitely trying to project confidence, trying to create a threat that you don't want to do anything, just give me what I came for, sort of thing. With other people showing up, I think you see a little bit of tension in her as well. She starts glancing towards the window and the doorway, and she seems to be getting a little nervous. Maybe like you've seen a rabbit on the run or something like that.
Can I ask you, honey, what you're planning?
Why would you want to know?
Oh, no reason. Just curious. Fascinating stuff this is.
You're fascinating as well. So many voices.
Jerri just kind of shrugs at that.
Kestrel and Psalm, you have not, like, you might be able to hear mumblings inside, but no one's answered your words. Do you do anything? You're just gonna yell at the house.
Did we go in?
I think we should. You said they aren't answering you.
Well, they don't seem to be. If it's them, I mean, it might not be.
Okay. Maybe it's not safe to enter an empty house. And I think we should be wary of anyone we meet. Should we try to like, just pull a 1-2 and be like, oh, if you don't come out, we're going to throw a fireball through the door.
Can you do that?
No, can you?
Oh, no.
Okay, well, just it's fine. They'll think it and they'll come out and they'll have to listen to us. And then if it's your friends, then they'll be like, whoa, you can do fireballs now? And then
That's true.
you say that you've decided not to use it against them. And if it's not, then we have, well, I mean, I don't see any downsides to the situation.
Okay, let's do it.
Sure. And Psalm's just going to like yell very loudly. Oh my gosh, I have thaumaturgy. Absolutely. I'm gonna thaumaturgy emphasize, boom my voice very loud and be like, come out, we have fireball directed at the front door.
Okay.
Pretty sure Jerri and Sylphine hear that. Response.
Jerri will look panicked at that and just like she'll take out the object from wherever it's kind of a big object if I remember correctly. It's not small.
No,
Like
no,
it was a
required a
box that
cart.
both
This
you and
one's
Iden.
yeah, this one's in
Jerry's-
like a steamer trunk.
Jerry's gonna just point at the box and be like, just take the damn thing, I'm out of here.
That's it. I am going to, hearing that, draw my sword and go and see how heavy that box is.
Strength check for the box.
Athletics, strength athletics.
Strength athletics. Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna go great.
You're like what, a barbarian, right?
Well, it helps when I roll really well. That's gonna be a 19.
Oh man, yeah, you're able to drag the box across the room. It's pretty heavy. It weighs about 80 pounds.
I am familiar with estates. Do I see, where would I guess that a back door would be, or servant's entrance, anything like that?
Yeah. No, especially since you've been to enough of these period type mansions, you're able to discern where the most likely exits to the building would be other than the front entrance. And you can think of two off the top of your head. You got back through the kitchen, and then there's also a side door as well.
Okay. As I start dragging this trunk, I'm going to stop and just very quickly channel my senses through my falcon to see what I see out there.
So your falcon snaps to. The first thing you see is it staring at a mouse. And you can tell it's a little hungry right now. As it's sitting there, but waiting patiently and respectfully. Then as it can't see anything from where it's at, from the front door, because there's an overhang and everything. But it can fly around and get a better perspective for you if you'd like.
Yes.
And also with that, Iden, you see Sylphine taking this box away, like she is hauling it, big strong muscles. She's hauling it off of the cart that you were. So
No, the box is in the mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cart's not in the mansion.
I thought the cart. Okay. So Iden, if in that case, if you would please, were you hiding in the cart or were you hiding near the box?
Well, I did say the cart. 'Cause
Yeah, I
that's where
thought the
box
cart was
but
in
I'm at
the
cart,
mansion.
so
Okay.
I'm at the cart, and if the cart's outside, I can work with that.
Okay.
So, yeah, as the falcon swoops down, both Psalm and Kestrel, you see the bird just like swoop down and land across in a tree. It was being pretty noisy, and now it's just staring at you. And go ahead and describe your characters to Sylphine, please.
You can go first, Kestrel.
Sure. So you see a halfling. She's about 3 feet tall. She has kind of like a just general like traveling outfit, kind of merchant-esque, but she has a little green like kerchief tied around her neck. And she is kind of just looking at the front door expectantly. waiting for something to happen. But also noticing, would I have noticed the bird? Did it fly like near where we are?
Yes, you would have noticed the bird. It swooped down and
Okay. Then also noticing the bird and noticing that it seems to be kind of fixated on a cart in the yard. And I'm starting to kind of wonder what's going on over there.
And then Psalm is just like this deep scarlet red tiefling. She has like these beautiful kind of like black, they're not like goat horns, but yeah, they're two horns. Gold and dark red makeup to match her red skin, gold necklaces, bangles, bracelets. She's buff as hell. She wears like dragon fitted things. And you notice she's got a rapier on her side that she's like reaching towards, but also she has a I think we decided on like a pistol situation off to
Yeah.
the side.
it was a 6-shooter.
Yes, a 6-shooter. This beautiful, just like half onyx, half ivory kind of situation. And she is very dedicatedly staring at the door. Like she doesn't have a fireball prepared because she can't do that. But boy, is she committing.
If she could, boy howdy.
It would happen. So yeah, she's just staring at the door. I think she's lost sight of not lost sight of the bird, but kind of lost interest in it because no one responded. It didn't respond to her yelling. So she's just kind of like looking through and seeing if there are any windows or anything that she can see movement through or hear more of the mumblings.
If you're looking through windows, like you definitely, as you go like towards the left side of the house, you can see probably Jerri is just kind of packing herself up, and because technically the job is done. Let's see, and you would probably you would see that there's movement elsewhere in the house, and you at this point you would probably hear the scraping of something very, very heavy being dragged along a very, very dusty floor.
Yeah, I think something's going on with me and meats. But
Oh, you're coming through.
oh, I am? Okay.
Yes.
So I think so I see someone dragging something essentially, or hear someone dragging something. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
You hear what sounds like a heavy box being dragged.
I'll just kind of yell at that. I'll just kind of be like, hey, wait, don't go anywhere. And I'm gonna try to see who's dragging it.
I want to go check out what this hawk is looking at in this cart
Yes.
while that's happening.
Okay. Let's see. In that case, Psalm, we're gonna say like you start towards Sylphine.
Mm-hmm.
Kestrel, go check out the cart and
Yes.
let's roll a investigation.
No, there shouldn't. Well, Iden, you're hiding in the cart. Are you just like under the tarp, and waiting patiently?
I imagine I'm literally just sitting on like the wood frame on the edge of the storage space in the cart, just a mouse hanging out, sitting there, like
Okay.
hunched up.
You notice as
Staring.
well that you have caught the attention of this hawk or falcon that's just sitting there eyeing you as a meal, but it's sitting there, and you know if it was a normal falcon, it would have already tried to go for you by now as a mouse. So
Mhm, mhm. I'm not worried yet.
Do I see
You-
a
you-
mouse?
yes, you do see the mouse on the cart. And it's
Little
just
buddy. And I'm gonna try to pick him up.
This I did not see happening. I will. I guess I'll just get picked up. just kind of not fight at all. Just kind of go limp, which is like really out of character for a wild mouse. So you just can scoop me up without any fighting whatsoever.
You are just the cutest thing. I'm gonna get you away from that mean bird, and I'll like start walking back towards the house.
So I'm assuming that like Kestrel, you're also like kind of following Psalm. Psalm, you make your way into the house again. You see, and it's because of the very large box. Like you can see the drag marks of where it was dragged. And you're fairly quickly at least able to get to a point where you can see Sylphine, and you see. Well, actually, you know what, Sylphine, you can describe what you look like to Psalm now.
Oh, yeah, you see a sun elf with kind of vibrant red hair braided to the side. Fairly nice clothing. It's very clean, very well made, but if you're looking closely, you'll notice around the edges of it, both the hat, around the edges of the skirt and the sleeves, there's a bit of wear. This is clothing that is taken care of and is well made, but is starting to show its age a bit. And she, hearing you come up behind her, will spin and look towards you. She has a scar down the side of her face, and she's holding what looks like a bladed rapier in between you.
Oh, Psalm definitely has like pulls out and like levels the rapier to you, and it's just like, what? Are we fighting? I don't know. I'm not here to fight.
Okay, I'm not here to fight either. If it's okay with you, I'm just going to keep going.
Going where? What are you doing here?
I'm just leaving.
How would it be that hard to ask you to stay? My friend is outside and is going through some stuff, and I really need everyone who's in this house to stay in the house until we figure out what's going on.
I think you see a look of confusion come over her face. This was not at all what she expected. I guess I can promise you I don't have anything to do with your friend, though. I'm not sure I would be of any help.
Well, it would be of great help to me if you stayed. And I'm saying this over the blades that are like crossed. Stay. I will help you move your box later. Accent change, whatever, it's okay. I will help you move your box later. But if you stay, just help us figure this out. Help me and my friend figure this out. You can go and do what you need to do.
Well, I was not looking forward to dragging this all the way back to the train, so if you can help me do that, then I will stay for a little while.
Okay. And then I will wait for Kestrel. I will lower my rapier if they do, and I will wait for Kestrel.
I will come inside the house, just like I've got mouse in one hand and I'm just kind of like scritching with the other hand. Look, I found a little friend.
Jerri, this has clearly gotten out of hand so quickly.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing during all of this?
So Jerri like is in full-on panic mode at this point because there's fireballs were threatened, like she doesn't know where Eden went either until she sees Kestrel come in with Eden or with the little mouse. And she's like racking her brains trying to figure out how to like salvage the situation so that she doesn't get in trouble with Jenner, so that like it, and so, but the minute when she sees Kestrel with Eden or with the little mouse, she's gonna go up to them specifically and that's mine, if I could have it back, pointing at Eden.
Oh, okay. Here you go. I was just worried because there was a falcon outside and it was kind of staring at him
Yeah, whatever.
or her, I guess. I don't know. Here you go.
When you go to pass me off, I will squirm like all fucking hell and just do my best to get away before you pass me.
Get away from Kestrel, get away from Jerri, get away from both.
Both, but specifically just get away from being passed off to Jerri.
Wow.
I will kind of like pull back. I mean, if you want to jump out of my hands, let me know. But otherwise, I'll pull back. I'm not going to hand you over if you're squirming.
You pull back and I just flop out of your hand onto the floor.
It's not a very far drop, so
yeah, eat an athletics check real quick. And remember, you're using mouse statistics.
Ooh.
Well, I rolled a 5, so
Okay.
I'm not going to imagine that's too good.
Oh no. Yeah, a mouse probably has a hit point.
No. There's no fall damage for 5 foot. It's fine.
For a mouse?
You sprain your ankle as you land.
Oh, I was gonna say like they come out of their wild shape.
Oh, he's not taking damage from that.
You are kinder than I am.
Mm. I am a very benevolent person. But that being said, yeah, you do twist your ankle a little as you fall to the ground and try to scurry away again.
Jerry's gonna try and like yell at the mouse. Look, the box, it's over there. Do what you're gonna do. I don't care. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean any trouble. We didn't want any. We'll just be in and out. Don't worry about us. And that's
Teral is learning the error of their ways. Psalm, Sylphine, no doubt, like, you are seeing all of this go through, and the 5 of you are there. Eden, any, like, do you take Jerry's advice?
Advice? I'm going to scurry and basically go around the nearest door frame corner and just sit and watch.
Okay.
Cool.
Still in view, essentially, but just away.
In that case, Jerri, Kestrel, Sylphine, and Psalm, the 4 of you have now, I guess, gotten rid of the mouse. But yeah, what do you 4 do?
You didn't happen to see a band in the house somewhere, did you?
A band?
Yeah. Like with instruments and stuff? Or like a bunch of creepy boxes whispering sorry at you? Either way.
I haven't seen anyone else here.
Oh.
No, nothing like that.
Wait, you just sounded different.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's just something that, I do from time to time. It's nothing to worry about, really.
Oh, I like it. That's fun. What's your name?
Jerri.
Hi, Jerri. I'm Kestrel.
Kestrel.
Oh, and I turned to Psalm. Sorry, you said we weren't supposed to trust people, right?
Yes. Sorry, I'm still stuck because the mouse fell and there's a person. I'm just confused, but I don't know if we could still trust everyone here. Did you see any of these people in your dream?
No, I didn't actually see people. I just kind of saw shadows. So.
Okay.
And when you think back to it, those shadows were about the maybe not the shape, but the size of two of these people, but you could have sworn there was a third.
Oh, well, those two kind of match, but there was a third one that was about my height. Maybe they didn't make it, or maybe they haven't showed up yet.
That's true. Sorry to cause a big disruption. We didn't actually have a fireball outside. We were just. Now that I think back on it, I don't really know what I was trying to do. But glad that nobody left and thought they were in danger.
Oh, good. I was, worried.
Although I could have taken you if I needed to.
I look at Kestrel and I'm like, I do like the different voices. It's very interesting.
Oh, isn't it fun?
It's very fun.
Neither of you two
It's
have
very
seen
fun.
someone about my size, right? Because in my dream there was, someone that looked kind of like you, and someone, in a shape that looked kind of like you, but then there was another shape, like a third shape that was kind of like this.
As far as I know,
Like
we're
this?
Mm-hmm.
Jerri just kind of glances to where she last saw the mouse a little bit, trying to be discreet about it, but probably failing miserably.
Sylphine, what were you gonna say?
I was just saying that as far as I know, we were the only two here.
And then with that, Jerri sort of nods and goes, "We were the only two here."
Do we believe them? I don't think Psalm believes anyone. But does Psalm believe them?
Again, we try to avoid PvP unless
Absolutely.
explicitly I want to fight that person.
Same with insight, same with diplomacy, bluff, deception. Does Psalm believe them? Is the question you have to answer.
If Psalm were to see these two people say exactly that thing, would she? Would she?
I don't think so. Psalm is going to look around, watch that Jerri was looking back at the mouse, and she's going to also look at the mouse and keep her eyes on it.
If
go
you've
ahead.
seen a mouse before, it is staring back at you
Mm-hmm.
in a way that you've probably never seen a mouse just sit and stare before.
Kestrel, could you retrieve our mouse friend again?
Oh, I can try, but I don't think it liked me picking it up very much. And I'll go over and try to scoop the mouse up again.
When you go to grab me again, this time I'm just gonna drop the animal shape, and just the instant you go to scoop, I blow back up to my 3-foot self, and there's just this this halfling sitting there with kind of cunning blue eyes, messy red hair that's shaved on one side. They've got freckles all up and down their face, and they've got kind of fair skin. And I'm just kind of sitting, reclining back on my 2 hands at this point. And as you reach down to grab, I pop back up and I'm into regular form, just like, okay, I wasn't planning on being manhandled today. I just want y'all to calm down with the grabbing.
I imagine I've got like an ankle or something. Oh. Wow. Hi. I'm sorry for petting you.
No, that's fine. I've got like essentially like gladiator sandals on, with large black soles. You can maybe let me go?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and Kestrel's face is bright red.
Thanks.
Hi. Sorry, yeah,
Surprise.
uh-huh.
Think we found
you
you for
were
third
a mouse.
I'm a halfling. Eden.
Me too.
I noticed.
I'm Kestrel. Oh, I'm not supposed to tell you my name. Never mind. I'm not Kestrel.
Kestrel. Oh god.
Your friend is perceptive.
Isn't she great?
Hi, I'll like wave to some. Don't mind me. I was just waiting for the deal to be done. And I'll just give like a sheepish glance at Sylphine.
And why were you waiting for it to be done?
Professional courtesy. That's all.
What were you planning?
deal?
Jerri puts her hood up and starts to look real distracted and busy by things.
Hey, so how much did you pay for, and I point to the box, how much did you pay for that?
More than I think you can afford. Why?
Yeah, see, that's the problem. So, look, you got me. So nothing's gonna happen. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for everything to finish. Just don't worry about it.
Why do you need an item like this?
Oh, I don't.
Sorry, what? Item?
Yeah, what's this deal? What's going on here?
It's a deal that's meant to be kept quiet. That's why it takes place in a house like this on the edge of a tiny town.
And with that, Sylphine, your Falcon starts screeching again as though another person is approaching.
Caw, doogie doogie.
What the fuck is that?
Just I don't want to give these people an opening because I still don't trust them, but I'm just going to just a couple times like flash my senses over just to kind of get blinks of what my falcon sees.
All right. Yes, as you flash your senses over, it appears a cloaked figure, roughly about 5.5 foot tall, is approaching. You can't actually make out any of their stuff, but they have a traveler's pack on their back, and they also have a rapier at their side.
I'll look at Psalm. Are you expecting more friends?
No, Kestrel 3, right? That was it? 3?
Just 3.
Yeah, so we got company. Is anyone else?
Oh! And Kestrel looks over at Eden. They were the third one. That makes sense now.
Oh god. I care so much about this. Okay. And Salma's gonna take out her gun and just like hold on to it.
Whoa, wait. There's no need to draw anything like that, all right? We're just having a little conversation, right?
This is
Well,
becoming
not at you. Whoever's incoming. I don't know who they are.
this is becoming far too complicated. This is why I was trying to leave.
I see. Well, should we try to see if it's worth just running then?
Well, you did promise to help me carry this to the train.
Which I'm now regretting, but yes, I did. I'm going to walk stealthily towards the a window, and try to see this person.
All right. Give us a perception check, please.
Okay. Come on, perception. Oh, 19.
19. Yes, as you catch glances under their hood. They don't seem to be hiding at all, but they are scouting out the outside of the building. And you see what appears to be a sun elf just walking around the outside of the building. You can't make out too much detail, but their rapier looks very similar to Sylphine's rapier.
Okay. Sylphine, I don't know if you told us your name yet, but I'll just say, how common is your rapier?
I mean, it's not that uncommon, but it's typical to the fiefdom that I'm from.
Well, you might have a friend of yours outside. They seem to be carrying a rapier similar to yours.
Yeah, there's a look of worry, a flash of worry on her face for a moment as I'm going to fully project my senses into my falcon to see what she sees.
Yeah, go ahead and we'll let you zoom in with your falcon here. Give me a perception
Enhance.
check.
So keen senses are enhanced. Did not roll well. It's with advantage. That's 13.
Ooh. No, it looks like it's a similar make and model to the one you're using. So it's definitely from your fiefdom, but you can't make out any specific engravings or markings on it that would signify anything beyond that.
It does look shinier than yours. It looks a little bit better kept
Yes.
than yours has been lately.
Okay. Do I see insignia on the person's cloak? Are they wearing any sorts of badges? Anything? Do I see their face at all?
You do not see their face, and it definitely looks like they are trying to be as nondescript as possible. So like everything is beiges, browns. Imagine you're looking inside of an office. Like there are no popping colors here.
Cool. Pulling my senses back. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. You all can stay here if you like, but I really do have a train to catch, and I'm gonna start dragging the trunk again.
Um, as you start dragging the trunk, you're heading out the back way.
Yes, opposite of wherever this figure is.
Okay.
Really quickly, before we go to break, Jerri, Kestrel, Iden, and Psalm, at least tell us what your plan is. Like, are you going to go follow? Are you going to go check out, like, this possible new enemy? Where are you heading before we head to break?
Jerry's worried. Jerry's gonna stay now that Eden's revealed themselves. Jerry's gonna stay with the trunk and with Sylphine, and start to follow her out.
Kestrel?
Unless Psalm very specifically tells her otherwise, Kestrel is going to take the cue that the person out front is bad news and also head towards the back.
Okay. Eden?
As the sun elf is dragging the box, I rush over and I say, hey, don't be so hasty. Let me help you. I would love to help you catch your train. And I will see if I can grab part of the trunk to help lift.
Okay.
Really quickly, as Psalm is going to explain what she's doing, if you'd give us a strength check, halfling?
I'll say as they run over, I think our tiefling friend may be better suited to this.
I rolled a 7, and I'm just gonna be like, many hands makes light work, and like shove them under the midsection of the trunk and pretend to be helping.
Like, as you're like pretending, like your face is kind of getting red, and oh, this is actually very heavy. How are you going to move all of this? Oh no. And Psalm.
Psalm she's wary because she immediately notices Sylphine's reaction of turning tail. So I think that she's gonna stand there waiting. Like, everyone else is kind of running away. She's gonna keep her like 6-shooter at where she saw this person, and she's going to walk back very slowly until she can get to the point where she's helping. Like, she feels like they're a safe distance away, and then she'll go and help as well, help carry the box.
Okay, perfect. So that's where we're going to leave off for our break. This is going to be a little under 15 minutes. So please make sure to go hydrate, go pet your pets, bio, all of the good things, and we will be back after. Bye. And we're back. Hello and welcome to Shifting Echoes. Before we left off, we had several people who are all kind of trying to get a box, but some people are just trying to help, and even more people are simply trying their best. And everyone, as we were leaving, was fleeing this mysterious figure who showed up outside of the mansion, possibly to ruin the fun times.
Indeed. So you are all hauling this box out to the back. The cart's in the front. How is that going to work?
Kestrel and Kestrel's new friend, that is sized very similarly to Kestrel. You should go out front and, you might get their attention, but you might want to bring the cart back over here.
Hey,
Do we think that's a good idea?
Are you taking the cart?
Well, we aren't hauling this box all the way to the train. We're gonna have to put this onto the cart.
It's only an hour walk. I think we might be able to do it.
Just
Good idea. And then Jerry looks pointedly at Eden. You take the cart. You take the cart.
Yes, I heard you. I'll turn. Well, I'll look at Kestrel. Shall we get the cart?
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'll lead, and I'll just walk and roll my eyes as I'm leaving.
Jerry sort of throws up her wings.
I
and-
will follow along. I'll as we like go to leave the room, I kind of look back at Psalm and like blush just a little bit and then scamper after Eden.
wait. Okay. All right. I say don't trust anyone, and Kestrel falls in love. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever. What is your name? And Psalm is looking at Sylphine.
Sylphine.
Sylphine. Should I be worried sending my friend out there with whoever this person is? Should we be worried?
I don't think so. If they're here looking for me. I think I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Jerry just kind of shrugs.
Yeah. Psalm looks over at Jerry, watches you shrug, and just like, all right. Then let's just keep pulling this cart. Or pulling this box. And she's just gonna keep her eye on the door and the front where this individual was seen and try to continue to leverage the box and go further out of the house.
Let's make a quick strength check.
Yes.
This is 80 stinking pounds.
Athletics.
Oh, athletics?
Athletics.
Athletics. Oh, nice. I'm proficient. Natural 20.
Nice,
Plus
first
4.
of the game.
Nice. It's 24.
Yeah. Psalm, you really feel like you're doing the lion's share of this hauling when it comes to moving this box, but it's not heavy.
Okay. I'm just like, okay, let's do it. I go down, I just lift it up immediately and start going back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What's your name? And I look over at Jerri.
Jerry.
Nice to meet you, Jerri.
And you are?
Psalm.
So it's nice to meet you, Psalm.
She's just gonna nod, keep pulling.
Jerry is internally like trying to like the wheels are turning as she's like trying to figure out how this all went so wrong and how she can get out of it without without pissing off Jenner specifically. Okay, part 1, checking off that list, hoping that Eden picked up the message that she was trying to tell them, and but just sort of helping to shove the box along as much as possible.
It's a message.
Just
Shit.
Kestrel and Eden, as you go out front, you know that you're supposed to be looking for a cloaked, hooded figure, but you don't actually see anyone out front at the moment. What do you do?
Oh, well, should we just grab the cart then?
Yeah. Hold that thought though, and I'll just kind of peer around the corner of the building and look.
Give me a perception check as you peer around the corner of the building,
tree.
Eden.
Towards the front door. Perception check. Oh no.
You're observant.
Oh, there. My good rolling has come back to me. That's an 8.
An 8, perfect. Yes. No, the front door seems to be where it was left from before, and the cart unaccosted. Just got one mule still strung up to it, waiting to do something.
Okay. I'll put my hand down. Well, all right, Kestrel. Looks like everything's fine. So, what do you say we get this cart moving? Eh?
Sounds good. Do you
D-
know how to drive a cart? Or do you want me to?
I was just about to ask if you're just as good with mules as you are with mice.
Well, I used to we traveled around a lot. So, yeah, I've driven some carts. I mean, I wasn't the one that normally drove the cart, but I've done it.
Well, I defer to your expertise. I'll keep an eye out.
Okay. And I'll clamber up into the cart.
And I'll stand on the side.
And I will start trying to get it to move around the back.
Yeah. Do an animal handling check.
Where am I? Where's the? Oh, that's not bad. 19.
Oh, dang. So you've never met this mule before, but she seems very much to like you, and she's just very easily moves towards the direction that you're trying. She just kind of steers and goes wherever you're I guess it's not a steering wheel, but wherever the reins lead her.
Wow. You're about as handy with Jezebel as Jerri is. I know,
Is that her
really.
name? The mule?
It is now?
It's pretty. I like it.
You are.
I'll I'm still looking out, but I'm just gonna hop up in the back of the cart at this point now and just keep looking out for cloaked figure, I guess.
And I'll just keep moving us around the back.
So do you frequently go to abandoned mansions and cause commotion?
Not usually, but there's a first time for everything, right? Do you?
This is the first abandoned mansion I've been to. Well, I hope I don't need to come back to one. Look, I don't know what you're doing here, but I'll lean in and just say closely in your ear, confidentially, I need what's in that box.
What is in that box?
I'm not 100% sure, but I just know that I need it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna help get it to the train.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know why I just told you that. Why did I just tell you that?
Maybe I'm just trustworthy. You trust me, right? I mean, obviously you do, because you just told me.
Obviously.
Well, it's only fair. I came here because I'm looking for my band, the Evergreen Song. I don't know if you probably haven't heard of us. We're not very noteworthy. But
Nope.
I had a dream that maybe they were around here. I don't normally follow dreams, or anything like that, but like things have been real weird lately, so I figured why not? But I guess they aren't here. So that's why we're here.
Gotcha. And like as we're pulling around, I point to your tall, buff companion. Bandmate? Manager?
No,
Equipment manager?
I just we met and she offered to help me. I think she could tell I needed help. She's nice like that.
I'll look back and forth. Yeah, I could see that.
As you round to the back to the kitchen entrance, Sylphine and Psalm mostly Psalm, let's be honest, have made the box down the stairs and are waiting. Anyone who would like to be on the lookout, make a perception check.
Yes, please.
Jerri will be watching for sure.
Anyone who's not making googly eyes.
I rolled a
I
natural
am
20
driving
for
a
24.
cart. I don't know what you're talking about.
24?
Yes,
Natural
24, a natural 20.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
Jerri rolled an 18.
Psalm rolled a 16.
All right. With the 24, you see little footsteps just padding in the grass towards the rest of you. But there's nothing there.
Uh-huh. Okay. I think, does this need... it's a creature you can see. Okay.
Could Psalm reach into her bag and get out her flask of oil from her adventuring kit and just kind of trace where she thinks the footsteps are coming from? And when she finally thinks there's... go ahead.
Before you finish that,
Yeah.
Sylphine, do you tell anyone in this Mod Podge group
That
about
there
what
are-
you saw? Because you are the only one who saw footprints.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
from my-
24.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they are walking towards you.
Okay. Yeah, my initial assessment of this group, I'll lean towards Psalm since she seems like she is the capable one of this hodgepodge. And I will whisper, we have somebody coming over there. It looks like they're invisible.
Invisible?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then let me just... Okay, and I'm going to reach into my bag for the flask of oil and just kind of lean over and ask, in what direction are they coming from? Can you tell?
Yeah, I was trying to think of a good way to do it. I will turn so my back is in that direction just for a moment. I'll say directly behind me.
And I will toss the oil directly behind.
I will spin around.
Okay, roll to hit with the oil.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if I get any additional numbers, but I rolled a 12.
Yeah, so with that 12, you spray it all over the place, and you see a couple of droplets just fall to the ground and a couple more just floating in the air. You didn't really get too much with the oil, but you did manage to hit something. And in that instant, the person drops the illusion.
Before you stands, they are a cloaked figure, but now that you are closer, you can see that she definitely has on armor underneath that cloak. She has a very stern regard. Her hair is vibrantly red, almost like fire, almost like sunshine. And her skin is also red, and you start to see that she's got some graying over here, and she is looking directly at you, Sylphine. She says, "Hello, miss. I think you might have found a little bit more trouble than you intended." You recognize this person as someone friendly, who has been a guardian to you in the past.
Okay. Sorry, trying to unpack somebody off of my list of important NPCs.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Okay. That is unexpected. Looking at her, I'm familiar with illusion magic. Does this seem like somebody in disguise, or?
For that, you're going to have to roll.
How are you trying to check for illusions here? That's the real question.
Yeah, initially just looking for telltale signs. Like, I know I'm familiar with it enough to know that sometimes you can see through illusions if you look closely enough, if you know what to look for.
I believe that's an intelligence investigation.
That's a second straight natural 20 for 26.
Either this is the best illusion you have ever seen in your life, or this is the real deal.
I will sheath my sword and run up and hug her.
Initially, like, she's very stiff about it, and she like looks around, but then she does give you a warm embrace, and like she doesn't kiss the top of your head, but she does like just kind of lay her face there, and she says, "You are so very much more trouble than you need to be."
I thought you were dead.
To be fair, I think many people think you're dead as well.
That's the point. How are you here? How did you find me?
Sweetheart, I do believe we need to have a bit of a chat. She, moves away from the hug and looks around and says, "Now, I understand that you have all only recently met Sylphine." And she kind of looks at you. "But I'm a friend. My name is Falcine. Falcien. And I do not mean anyone here harm, who does not mean her harm." And she does kind of look at Iden for a half second. How about we go somewhere a bit more comfortable? There's a place in town where we can sit, we can chat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll look to everyone. I don't know if they're planning to come with me, because we did just meet them.
Worst comes to worst, food's on me.
Is the box coming with you too?
Yes.
Yes, the box will come with all of us.
And oh, go ahead.
She actually goes up to Psalm, and she goes to take the box. She's not going to yank it away or anything, but she just kind of like nods and looks at you and like holds on to the box, offering to take it.
Psalm, who is like carrying this very heavy weight, doesn't fully trust, but will go with this for now. Just kind of like she grabs onto it. Psalm will just let it go and watch it drop into her hands.
Weird thing you notice, like her arms don't even move. It's as though no weight has been added to her arms. They're under the cloak. You don't know, but she just goes over and like no extra sounds of exertion happen, and she sets it on the cart as though it could have been paper for all you knew. Who's walking and who's riding?
I'm with the cart.
I am as well. I say with a glance towards Eden.
Worst comes to worst, as people become tired, we'll take rests. And you go towards town. It was an hour walk, but with the cart and people changing over, like it's closer to 35 minutes, give or take. Like,
yeah, it's a quicker travel.
It is slightly shorter travel depending on the length of legs that are on the cart and the length of legs that are walking. But you're able to get into town, and if you would describe the town for us.
Yes.
Draldrin.
Draldrin is a small, roughly 100-person town. It's mostly treated as a train stop out in the middle of nowhere, where not much happens, and ultimately there's a general store in town. There's a small little tavern / tap room for visitors that go through and stay the night, especially when they get dropped off by the train. But ultimately, it's just a one-horse town with not much going on.
One horse and one mule.
One horse and one mule.
So as you get in there, as they described, there is a place to eat, and the captain of the guard, Falstine, she goes on in, and she very much at this point has described that she used to be, or is, couldn't really tell from the way that she said it, captain of the guard, and she cares for Sylphine very much, and she just wants all of you to stay safe. And that's about as far as she'll divulge. That it seems that she wanted to at least get somewhere where you were not out in the open to continue.
Does the care for Sylphine feel familial or romantic?
Familiar, for sure. She is very much, I'm not going to say doting mother, but like a teacher. Like a teacher might be to a student.
Can I try and get a read on her to see, like, is she, I mean, obviously she's not telling us everything, and so I know she's hiding stuff, but like if it's I'm trying to see like what see if I can feel like if there's some sort of something dark and nefarious that I should be worried about, if there's like some worry there.
Yeah, give us an insight check on that.
Okie dokie.
We're not PCs.
Yeah.
Psalm also is trying to get a read on.
That would
definitely. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, it's that's a 23.
23.
Actually 22, sorry, math,
So
but 22.
You can definitely tell Falstine is hiding quite a bit and choosing her words very carefully in the conversation, especially in regards to Sylphine. But overall, her demeanor and manner is she seems to be very protective of Sylphine around the rest of you.
I think that sort of attitude or that sort of protective nature, and also just the voice in general, sparks a sort of like sense of familiarity for Jerri. Like, I don't know how much she reminds her of someone, but I think that Jerri would sort of, after like taking a little bit to observe her, would relax a little bit, and like sort of you almost see Jerri, I think, come down from, like, she's been on edge, a little tense this whole time, and there's just this slight relaxing. The feathers sort of smooth themselves down a little bit, like there's somebody else in charge, and there's a sense of trust from Jerri coming from that.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Jerri. Because about 30 minutes into the cart ride back to town,
Like you can see the town, but you're not in town.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a little voice pop into your head.
Is the deal done yet? This is a spell that you can respond to.
And have dealt with in the past, yes.
Yeah. He gets the feathers ruffle a little bit again.
Not yet. There were complications, but we're working on it.
You hear a string of curses, so blue that I'm not even going to say them out loud.
Yeah, fair.
And then it follows up with, "This is my retirement we're talking about. Get it done, or don't come back."
Copy that.
Do the rest of us hear the side of this conversation or no?
No, this is all in Jerry's head.
Okay.
I feel like we can. This is a
Stick.
brain spick. So Falsine like herds you all kind of into the establishment. This is I want you to picture a restaurant that wants to seem like it is very fancy and like it is cutting edge because a lot of travelers go through here. But you can see through just a lot of like little knickknacks that they'll have here and there, like some weird signs. Like this, it's honestly a small town restaurant that just kind of like put glitter on some things. Falsine ushers you all in, and she goes off to pay the valet, basically to put the cart in a place where it's going to be guarded, so that way you don't have to worry about the cart while you are in the restaurant. So where would you like to sit in this fun establishment?
How busy is it?
It's right between the lunch rush and the dinner rush. So like there's one or two people, but nothing major.
Yeah.
They have a stage.
They do not have a stage.
Okay.
They dearly wish they could have a stage, but like who's gonna perform here, honestly?
Okay.
You see the one wait staff person just filling up the sugar from the morning coffee.
I think I would head for a table that's out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you head over there, and Falsine enters back in, the waitress comes over and just kind of like wipes the sugar onto her apron and says, "Well, what does everyone want to drink?"
Just water for me.
Is this are you who's paying for this?
I got you, Kestrel. Or actually, our friend said food was on her. So.
Yes,
That's-
we'll pay for it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I do believe it's only fair, having dragged you out here to this fine establishment, that I
was
will
kind of
cover
my
all of your
thought.
meals and drinks. Nothing too pricey, though.
I mean, it's fine either way. I just, just wanted to know.
I understand. A budget must be held to, but it's my budget, and I promise you that while the coffers do not run deep, they run.
Are we
So-
sitting at a table?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
you're sitting at a table. There are no booths.
Gotcha.
But they are all tables, all circular, with nice, like, this was part of the fancy, like, they're wooden iron chairs. Like, they're actually,
Mhm.
they're pretty good.
What time of day is it?
It's right between lunch and dinner. I'd say,
right.
like, it's 2:45.
Okay.
Jerri is going to sit, like, take a seat on the chair, but she doesn't actually sit on the chair. She sort of like does a thing where she kind of perches like in a squat on the seat of the chair. Like, so
Mhm.
the idea is that she can spring up at any time, but also she just can't sit in a chair because reasons. And yeah, and she'll put in her order. I'll have an ale.
And meat and potatoes. You can never go wrong with meat and potatoes.
I'll second an ale.
I wasn't ready for your food, but sure. Meat and potatoes, ale, meat and potatoes, ale. Water for the miss. You two?
Ale, please.
Ale.
You do you got birch beer?
I believe we've got some that we can spare for you. Sure. Right. So go.
Would the halflings like booster seats as well?
No.
I'm
And
fine.
I sit cross-legged in the chair.
I am straight up standing on my chair.
Very good. Very good. And for you.
I'll just have a water. Thank you so much. And Sylphine, as she watches the waitress leave, you see her expression kind of sour, kind of turned dour, and she looks directly at you, Sylphine, and says, "What in the world are you doing with that?" And she very clearly indicates like where the box is going to be parked.
Better question. How are you alive?
Well, so as you know, the Raven Queen saw fit to save you. She also saw fit to save me. And I have been very quiet as of late because I feel that when one has a near-death experience, one should not repeat that experience if they can avoid it.
That is true. But nothing happened today, as you saw. The only danger that was there was you.
And the days previous? The days when you were on your own, and no one would seem to come near you for some reason, and you always seemed to get through things without having any troubles. I'm sure that those were only because of what you are able to do. Now, I have followed you, and I have helped to make sure that nothing terrible befalls you, but there's only so much one can do when dealing with the likes of, and she kind of looks pointedly over at Jerri, and a little bit at Iden, or Eden, sorry, the less savory of Aethenwold.
Ah,
You know who you work for. Kind of like she can't ruffle feathers, but you can tell that's kind of what she'd do.
Jerry's feathers are ruffled.
Softly judgmental.
You know, death isn't always the worst thing. I mean, some people actually find it very enjoyable. So I hear.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It's not always awful from what I've been, I imagine.
That's
That's-
an interesting sentiment.
I'm sorry, are you also with the Raven Queen? Looking at Kestrel.
No. Although I hear she's lovely. Just I imagine that some people might find death peaceful sometimes, maybe.
Well, I suppose, depending on the kind of death, it can be. A particularly painful traitor's death? Probably not. She's looking back again at Sylphine.
If you know, if you've been following me, who else? What have you been protecting me from?
Oh, let's see. And she sits back and like she opens a little pack on her belt, and in it there is a small notebook that she has written down. Let's see.
Sit back
4
and roll
weeks
my
ago,
eyes.
you decided that going into a bar and just sitting there with your rapier was going to be a smart idea. And then 2 days after that, you decided that going to a bank and asking about getting a loan would also be a great idea. Oh, there was the time when you wrote letters to, and she continues listing off things that you have done that, like, okay, maybe that wasn't okay, maybe that one was, yeah, none of these were good ideas, but at the same time you lived, oh, that's why. And how about the latest? Talking to, again, like she points over at Jerri. Him, you can tell at this point she is making a point of not saying the name Jenner aloud. Doing deals basically with the devil at this point.
What other choice do I have? I mean, in my defense, this wasn't my idea. I was sent to this person. But if I have been so incompetent, you've been fixing all of these mistakes, why haven't you just told me you were here?
Well, because if even one person knows that you are alive, that I am alive, it's a danger. And now 5 people know that I am alive. And 4 more people know that you are alive.
Yeah, I just pipe up. In all fairness, I don't know who either of you are, so you don't have to worry about me.
Same.
Sylphine.
Shush.
And you chose that name.
That was the first one that came to mind.
That's great. But people apparently know that name now. People who maybe shouldn't. People who are connected to those who definitely shouldn't. Look, I understand.
In her defense, you're the one who said it.
She had already told you, and others, that that was her name. Before I even came into the picture.
For someone who says that they care about Sylphine a lot, You're being really awful.
I know that there are others who could be much worse, much
Where
more
are those
awful.
drinks? Where are those drinks?
Eden, as you look over, like waiting, you notice that like all of the drinks are done and on the bar, but like the waitress has been washing the same part of the bar for like a while. Like she might not be able to hear y'all, but she knows that there is tea being spilt. She knows that something's up. She is waiting.
I'll look at Kestrel and Psalm. Do you want to maybe go to the bar and get the drinks? That would be great, right?
Yeah, we'll go get the drinks.
How many of you get up to go get the drinks?
Jerry's staying put.
Solma's gonna sit right there. She's staring at Falcine and watching this go down. Looking between Falcine and Sylphine.
Look,
She's not
Sylphine,
moving.
it's as simple as this. I have indulged your fantasies of pursuing whatever this is you call it until now. But unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where I think you're drawing too much attention. So I have to put my foot down.
Oh, you don't get to do that. I have to do this, and you know why I have to do this.
What is my job, Sylphine? What is my duty?
And what would you have me do instead?
You can wait. You can wait for the right moment. How many times in our fencing lessons have I told you, you don't always have to be on the attack. Sometimes you have to defend. Sometimes you have to wait until the best possible moment to be able to spear your enemies through.
I have nothing left to defend, and I've been waiting for 8 months.
Oh, 8 months. Oh, that's so long. You're a sun elf. This is the blink of an eye for us.
Point of order, if I may.
Falcine sits back and like it looks as though she is at least collecting herself. It's not that she's been yelling, it's not that she's been, but just that you can feel that there is tension within her.
I hear what you're saying, dearie.
But no one messes with Jenner.
There you go. Poetry. Directly from his mouth, as it were.
I'm talking to you.
I'm not trying to mess with Jenner, my dear. I am trying to get Sylphine to stop messing with Jenner altogether.
It's a little late for that.
Unfortunately, you're right. As she sits back, the waitress does bring the meat and potatoes for Jerri, and you see Kestrel and Iden, like, with all of the drinks, just bringing them back over.
They
As we're walking back from the bar, Kestrel will lean over to Eden and just say, this box seems to be causing a lot of problems for everyone at the table right now.
Mhm.
And I think it's just in the cart out back. And I know you need it. So just thinking.
I am going to brain speak because I could do that.
Wait, which brain speak?
My Ghostwise Halfling brain speak.
You just have straight up telepathy, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Wanted to make sure if it was a spell, things might happen. Wanted to make sure. Go for it.
And I sip one drink and I've got like two of them in my other hand. And I'm just like, I like the way you think. What do you say? You want to step outside for some air while everybody enjoys their libations?
Kestrel will kind of take a sip, double handing her glass of ale because she's tiny. Take a sip and kind of nod, and then just say, I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be right back.
Sure. See you later.
I have, I've got something, and I just got my drink, and I just back away with the drink away from the table and abruptly turn to go to leave.
Falcine 100% like watches the two of you, and she looks over at Solomon and says, are they just going to go snog? Is that how halflings do? Is that
Probably. I don't know if it's a halfling thing, but it's pretty new. I assume that's what's happening.
I mean, I understand that the shorter-lived people, like, their lives just go very, very fast. I didn't realize it was that fast. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's a bit wild.
But she turns to the waitress and puts in her orders. A very sensible fried vegetable, or stir fry with vegetables. Whatever you would like to order.
I'm not hungry at the moment.
I'll take some meat and potatoes.
The waitress takes down your order and gives you all a quick nod and walks away. Puts it in with the kitchen.
We have allies
Jerry's
now.
just gonna sit there sort of picking at her food, like potatoes one at a time, watching. Also sort of like question actually. Do I know if the deal between Eden and Jenner has already happened?
You know that you needed to collect money from Eden after they had the box.
Great, perfect, wonderful, thank you.
It was like half has been paid. There's another half.
Right. Okay. I might, like, if I see Eden leave for the cart. Is that what's happening? Not making. If I'm following correctly, which may not be the case.
You saw Eden and Kestrel. Wait, Eden, did you go out the front or towards the back, towards the bathrooms?
I followed behind Kestrel.
Okay. In that case, you saw them
then
both
I'm not
go
gonna worry about it.
back, possibly towards the restrooms or a dark alleyway. You don't know. No one knows.
In the middle of the day. Yes. So that covers Kestrel.
Also, Jerry's gonna swig her ale in one fell swoop.
You have swigged. Sylphine, I think you were going to say something, and I accidentally jumped in.
Yeah, leaning into the table a bit, looking at Alcine. We have allies now, and they're willing to fund us. Why should we back down? What else would you have me do?
How do you know that they're your allies? How do you know that they're not just trying to keep tabs on you? How do you know that what they say is going to work? Look, I understand. I feel very similarly. I want to absolutely throw a fit and start just taking people. Someone yelled something about a fireball earlier. That sounds amazing. But you can't always go in guns a-blazing, as it were. Which is a very new phrase, by the way, like very recent. I'm hip with it in the times.
So what would you have me do? If you had your way, what would I do now?
If I had my way, I would take you somewhere where you could be protected, where we could shore up our forces, where I don't think you understand the people that you are going against, the people that you are working with. She's very powerful. And I don't think you understand the extent to which she is powerful. I think there are some skeletons in the closet that you have no idea about.
That's why I'm making the deals like today.
But these deals just put you more and more in danger. And I can't stop you, but I can at least warn you against them. I'm not going to do anything that keeps you from your will. But boy, howdy, do you make it hard.
I've always been the stubborn one.
My God, yes.
As you are sitting and talking there, Kestrel, Iden, you two manage to slip out through the side door there. And you notice standing outside there appears to be a group of people gathering around the restaurant.
Now, when you
What kind
say
of people, like how big, what kind of people?
So it appears to be a person clad in very knightly armor and wearing a sash across their chest, along with about 7 other people just standing there, all in various different outfits, some in robes, others in just standard riding leathers. And some of them are dismounted from their horses at this point, but they are questioning one of the local townsfolk.
And they're at the front door or the side door?
They are at the front door right now.
Can we see the cart?
awkward.
You're able to see where the cart would be parked. Okay, so there aren't parking garages yet, but there are like parking lots, places where like this entire section is just for carts, and you notice that like this place really wants to be fancy. They have way more parking spots than they need. Like
Yes.
this is ridiculous.
Clearly ahead of their time with 10 parking stalls.
The only one filled is yours.
I wonder what's going on over there.
I am curious too, but I think curiosity kills the cat. And with that many armed guards, I think that's likely to actually be true.
Does it look like they're focusing on a townsperson out front? They're not trying to go in the restaurant.
No, they are not going into the restaurant. They are right now having a conversation with the townsperson out front.
Okay, well. It doesn't seem like it's, related to us.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. Hope not.
Can I ask what's in the box
You
before I help
did.
you steal it?
You asked before. I
Mhm.
don't know what's in it. I think it's like a battery.
Oh, I just assumed you were lying before.
Oh, I mean, I'm just gonna start walking and like backwards, talking at you. I didn't necessarily lie. I just didn't specifically say what I thought it was.
What do you
'Cause
need a
I'm not
battery
sure.
for?
I don't.
You said you needed it.
Well, I need it because my sister needs it. So,
Oh, what does she need a battery for?
she's an inventor. So I just get a list of stuff and I'll like pull out a piece of paper with a whole bunch of random stuff written on it, and most of it's all scratched out. I just got to get this last thing. And yeah, the problem was this Sylphine got to it before me, and I just tagged along to take it. So here I am.
Well, it seems like she was having a hard time in there. And it seems like this box is related to that.
Mm-hmm.
So if the box is gone, then, she'll stop having a hard time.
I feel like that's really kind of you to think about it like that.
Why? How else should I think about it?
Well, I
You
mean,
just stealing it for personal gain?
Uh, I don't. All right, yeah, I suppose that's one way to look at it too.
I mean, we could think about it that way, but then I probably would have to stop you instead of helping you. Because then, you'd be hurting our new friend. So
I'll stop dead in my tracks. Friend? Ew. Okay.
As you try to process this, the man in the clad armor and the sash is like, "All right, she's in there." Takes out his sword, cuts down the villager, leveled the building, and let's go.
and we both see this happen.
Oh
yeah.
Out in the open, yeah.
You see a couple of the cloak figures start pulling out papers from their and parchments from their cases and begin unfurling them.
You hesitated. That's good. That's what I was hoping you would do. We have bigger problems now, I think. You want to go back inside?
Not especially.
Great, come on.
You're gonna have to drag me. or at least grab my hand or something, because I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I'll grab
In fight, flight, or
his hand
freeze, Iden
and start-
froze.
Nice.
I will grab his hand and start dragging them back towards the
Are you sure this is a good idea?
No, not at all.
Yeah, you
God.
But our
managed.
friends are in trouble.
You manage to get into the tavern. You have. It looks like they're casting spells. You have about 5 seconds to say what you need to say.
We have company.
I think
Bad kind.
The moment that you say we have company, Falcine, stands up and she flips the table so that she is sitting closer towards the front of the restaurant. You three are on the other side of the table. And she looks directly at Sylphine and says, "This is the power. Run." And she starts running towards the front of the restaurant.
And you all get to do one last thing.
One
with that.
action, basically.
One action.
Like, think we're not going to make anyone roll initiative yet.
Yeah.
But one action. Go.
As Felsine flips the table, because of where Jerri was sitting, she actually, and because of how Jerri was sitting, as the table flips up, it actually knocks Jerry's chair over, which sends Jerri sort of tumbling off of the chair and onto the floor. And in that time, Jerri is going to essentially scramble and find, like, so they're coming in from the back.
From the front.
From the front.
From the front. Okay. She's gonna basically vault herself to the counter, or like, and like try and hide behind like, if it's like a diner counter or a glass counter,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Counter.
Yeah. And it's like it's this like whole tumble and roll situation. It looks really awkward, but somehow but she like manages to kind of do it a little. She gets behind the counter.
Okay.
Sylphine, your action?
I need to see what we're dealing with. I'm going to throw my senses up to Falcon, who's waiting somewhere outside.
Yes.
Like I usually leave her. What do I see?
Give us a perception check, please.
And you are aware that this perception check is going to be your action.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
What is her perception? 17.
Okay.
17.
Yes.
So you notice that the person on the horse, or the person in the full plate with the sash, is bearing the markings of the elvish fiefdom of Corvu. And the only other thing you notice is it's a human and not an elf. Other than that, there's about half a dozen men either on horseback or next to horses, and they all have spell scrolls pulled out.
What does Corvu mean to me?
Corvu was the fiefdom that your friend is from.
Okay.
And Psalm.
Psalm is going to she's looking around for she's looking around for Kestrel. She heard Kestrel say that, so she's going to, if she can, also take a table, like jump over to the next table, flip it up and thing in front of Kestrel and Iden.
All right. So you flip up the table in front of Kestrel and Iden.
Yes.
In that moment, Falcine manages to take the dash action and get up to the front door. Rapier already in hand in a blur of motion, and then in that single instant, there's a bright, blazing flash of light and heat and noise, and everything goes dark. A few minutes, maybe hours later, you all come to the building has been completely collapsed in around you. You're throwing off debris and pulling yourselves out.
You notice that the one or two other patrons seem to be doing the same. Like you notice people around you are dazed, very much it's almost as though everything's moving in slow motion, but you all know that it's not. It's just all of that adrenaline is still coursing through your veins. But as you look around, you see that everything has been burned to a crisp. Some things seem to have been exploded from different areas. It seems like this wasn't just one single spell, it was multiple different spells from multiple different people.
Is everyone accounted for?
As you look, you see rubble of oh there's a beak. Jerry's fine. And over there is the very singed but gloved hand of Sylphine as she's waving to, like, it would be nice to get help, but she's also digging her way out because she's not going to wait for nobody. And in front of you, you see a table, and beside you, on one side, is Psalm, and one of Psalm's hands is like gripping onto the table in order to make sure that it stays there and protects both you, and on the other side of you, Iden.
But the one person you do not see in all of this rubble and chaos is Falsey.
Ooh. Jerry's gonna try and figure herself out and immediately try and see where the box is.
Make a perception check really quickly.
Sure, of course.
I'm gonna run
A
over and help.
6.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
6.
With a 6, you are able to see, like, because this was several different spells, some of them were explosions, etc., you can see that debris went everywhere, including the parking garage. But you're able to see, although it is smoldering and maybe like the box is broken, and even there's some hay that seems to have lit on fire a little bit, it's still there.
Okay.
And with that, I think we are going to call it for the day.
Wow.
Fun stuff. This is Ethanwald.
Yeah.
What?
Welcome to the premiere of Shifting Echoes. Thank you so much, everyone who joined us. This has been absolutely amazing. I do want to say a shout out to Mare. Thank you so much for the subs and gifted subs, and I'm not done. And I have gotten several follows, and I can't read all of them, but thank you, anyone and everyone who followed today. I cannot wait to continue this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around the room, and if you would please tell me your name, where we can find you, what you doing, etc., and your favorite part of the game today. So I will start off, and hi, I'm Gonah. If you're here, you're on my channel. I am a variety streamer, anything from League of Legends, role-playing games, to I don't have one for myself, to scary games. I do have socials that you could follow me at if you would like. I know, and you're wonderful mods, and I'm so thankful for you. But you can find me here, Twitter, Discord, all of those good places, and this is going to be posted up onto YouTube if you would like to check this out at a later date. Teral.
Hello, I'm Teral. I appear over on Twitch at Teral Plays It All. I play Monday nights, and I just do variety video games. in addition to that, I play Frightful Fridays over on Gonah's channel and Eighth and Walled Sundays on Gonah's channel as well. And I also, you can find me over on Twitter. And I think that's about it for me. I do taxes. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, for that wonderful shout out.
Oh no, I made that.
Oh, you made that?
I made your shout out! Exclamation point taxes.
Oh. Okay, cool. I love you so much. But yeah, and with that, I am going to kick it off to, I believe it's Anna. Wait, is that how we're going around?
Like you popcorn it to the next person.
Okay, Anna.
Wait, shoot, no, we did it bad. Favorite part of the favorite part of the game.
Favorite part of the game?
Favorite part of the game for me. Gosh, I'm pretty sure it was Kestrel like looking up at Iden as she's holding their ankle, and just like the haze of butterflies and hearts and pink clouds around the two of them. Like the fantastic. Mwah, chef's kiss. Thank you. Favorite part.
I'm gonna say, and this is, I'll give it to you this one time because it's probably gonna be one of my favorite parts every game. Lady Dame, your voice work is fantastic, and I just getting to hear your character talk is exciting every time. Okay, now popcorn over to Anna.
To me. Okay. So I'm Anna, aka Archival Dust Bunny. I'm an LGBTQI plus advocate, museum worker, and TTRPG streamer. If any of that sounds interesting, you find me on Twitter at Archival Dust Bun. On alternating Sundays when I'm not here, you can find me at 8 p.m. over on Guild of the Phoenix playing Cyberpunk Red. And on Wednesday nights, I'm over on Valdrin's Twitch channel playing an Animorphs-themed Blades in the Dark campaign. It's dark, angsty, full of trauma and 90s nostalgia. It's a lot of fun. You're really missing out if you're not watching it. And very soon, Response Team Omnicron, a Lancer actual play podcast playing through the No Room for a Wallflower adventure module. The best place to see where I'm streaming and when is on my Twitch or on my Twitter. Favorite part, I have to say selfishly, the DMs taking what I had prepared for playing as my character and completely throwing it off the rails immediately. That's always fun. Also, I love Kestrel a lot. Just all of Kestrel's interactions. I am going to popcorn it to, let's do Lexi.
Okay, I am Lexi. I am not a full-on streamer yet, but I have made a few appearances in a bunch of TTRPG games over the past couple of months, pretty much starting my own channel. I really like music, really like art, really like writing, really like Magic the Gathering, that kind of stuff. And I mostly run D&D, and I play a little bit. If you want to see the games that I'm playing, the things that I get excited about, I really like twisting, making TV shows into games, or taking fun ideas and turning them into D&D games. So yeah, if you want to see what I'm working on, you can catch me over at Twitter at Black Girl Mage, and I'm also on Twitch at Black Girl Mage. So just keep your eyes out for when I start streaming. Favorite moment? I'm also gonna say Kestrel. Kestrel's just like really funny. I really like the moment where definitely somewhere in the conversation, Psalm had told Kestrel, "Don't use your real name," and then Kestrel's like, "My name's Kestrel. Wait, I wasn't supposed to say my real name. No, it's not." Like, just very pure of heart, dumb of ass. I love it so much. So much love for that.
And then popcorn it.
Yeah, I'll popcorn it to Lady Dame.
Hi, that's me. I'm Lady Dame. Oh my gosh. I am a late night variety streamer here on Twitch, and I play games, I tell stories, and I run TTRPGs every once in a while and do some charity one-shots and that kind of thing over on my channel. I'm also the host of the very infamous Smutty Saturday, where I and a bunch of friends get together and we read smut of varying quality. This month on my channel, it's Yeehogust. So all of our smut is vaguely Western themed. Plus, I've got some games and stories that are in that genre. We also run a game every Sunday, except for today, over on my channel called Into the Fae, which is an actual play played entirely in the Tailspire tabletop simulator. That's GM'd by Media Flayer, which is really fun. We've had today planned to take off, but we'll be back next week with session 4, I believe. Also next Saturday, I have a few fun guests joining me for a particularly cursed smutty Saturday. Let's see. Yeah, so if you like all of that, you can follow me on Twitter or on my Twitch. All of my important social media is the Lady Dame to figure out what I'm streaming and when. And my favorite part, there was a lot. I have to say, my favorite part was all the like little twists and turns that our GMs threw in with like introducing Felsine, also like the fire, the diner explosion at the end. I mean, okay.
So cool.
It's fine. I'm not scared at all about what's about to happen. Anyway, that's it. I guess so that leaves let's popcorn it to Wren.
Hey, that's me. Hi, I'm Wren. You can find me on the internet, Twitch and Twitter at Thorny Dryad. It's like a prickly bush. When I am not streaming TTRPGs, I can be found as a variety streamer on my Twitch channel. I do a whole bunch of random stuff Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, and Saturday nights, all at 6:30 Eastern, where I just do whatever. I like making silly voices, and I like raising money for charity, so I do some role-playing game streams on my Twitch as well, where we raise money for varying charities of words, good qualities. And I also am the audio editor and a voice in the podcast called Roads Uncharted. It is a Genesis tabletop role-playing game actual play, and it is GM'd and produced by my lovely partner GM Dax, who is a fantastic moderator here and Twitch streamer in her own right. So if you like any of the stuff that you saw from me here today, be sure to check me out in any of those other locations. You won't be sorry, I promise. And my favorite part about today was, I gotta say, we had a lot of really great character introductions. I was particularly floored with all of the protectiveness and doting that Psalm had on Kestrel, and just like, all right, are your friends in here? Like, I'm ready to knock some heads. And it was just like everything Psalm said to Kestrel just made me go, oh my goodness, they're like best friends. And I absolutely loved that dynamic. So that's me. I'll go ahead and popcorn it over to Caitlin.
Hello, I'm Caitlin, aka a theaterphile all over the internet. When I'm not playing TTRPGs, I'm a variety streamer that focuses on vintage or older console games. I stream on Wednesday nights and Sunday afternoons. Right now I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts 2 and Super Mario RPG. Those are both about to like wrap up. So the next games that we're going to be playing are Final Fantasy VII on Wednesdays and Ocarina of Time on Sundays. So that is what's going to be coming up. I also play a lot of TTRPGs, both on my channel and across the internet. I'm actually going to be not running, but playing in and hosting a game of the Avatar TTRPG Quick Start on the 28th of August. There'll be more info on that soon, but I'm super, super, super excited. And yeah, Twitter is the best place to follow me if you want to see where I'm popping up on the internet.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us. I hope you all have a lovely week. We are going to be back, not next weekend, but the weekend after that. This is a bi-weekly?
Yes, it's every other week.
It's
Semi-weekly.
Semi-weekly. Thank you. It is a semi-weekly stream, and I cannot wait to see you then.
Absolutely.
Anything else from you?
No, this has been a fantastic first episode, and
Awesome.
I can't wait to see where we go next.
So thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.